Hey everyone, today I'm feeling a little bit stressed. I feel like my brain is all over the place, but I just wanted to sit down and film this video because I feel like filming is just fun for me. It's very relaxing. We're actually going on a road trip. We're going to Tennessee with Brady's family for vacation. I've never been there before. It looks super beautiful and I'm excited, but it is a little bit of a car drive. I think it's like 12 hours away from where I live, and we've never taken like such a long trip with a baby before. He's actually great at flying, and I think flying might be a little bit easier because you can keep them entertained. I'm a little bit stressed about the actual car ride, so if you have any tips, let me know. I'm already going to be there by the time this video goes up, but we're actually going on another road trip in September to North Carolina with my parents for like a wedding, and we're going to the beach. So please let me know if you have any tips on how to keep an infant busy. By then he'll almost be a year old. So anyway, I feel like I'm just all over the place because I'm trying to pack and clean and film and edit and everything, but I just want to take a second to chill, hang out with you guys, chat about makeup. So today we're talking about e.l.f. e.l.f. has actually been one of my favorite brands since I think before I filmed YouTube videos. I have a video on my channel back in 2014 sharing some of my go-to e.l.f. products, and I think I've done one every year since then. So for the past 8 years, I've kind of updated you on my favorite products, and I wanted to share an updated version in 2022. I feel like e.l.f. is such a popular brand right now, which makes me so happy to see because, like I said, I've loved them for what feels like forever, and they have such a large range of products at this point. They have so many different options in all different categories. So in today's video, I'm going to share my top products in 5 categories. So 5 favorites from eyes, lips, face, and then I also included skincare and tools. And then for each category, I'll share a product that didn't work for me too, because when it comes down to it, even if I love a brand, inevitably there are going to be products that I don't like from that brand. So I wanted to share a couple of fails with you in today's video as well, just things that I would recommend avoiding. This video is not sponsored. I have worked with e.l.f. in the past, and I'm always thankful when I get to work with them because it's a brand that I've truly loved for like, I want to say at least 10 years at this point. But like I said, there are products that don't work for me too, so I'll share some of those with you guys in today's video. But let's jump into it and we'll kick it off with eyes. Okay, let's start with eyes. I actually combined eyes and brows for this first category. One of my favorite products would be the e.l.f. liquid shadows. They have 2 different kinds. They have liquid metallic shadows that don't have any glitter in them, and then they also have liquid glitter shadows that have actual glitter in them. So on my eyes today, I have an eyeshadow palette I'll talk about in a second, and then I have a liquid metallic shadow all over the lid with a little bit of the liquid glitter shadow on top. I'll put the exact shades that I'm wearing in the description box in case you guys want to check them out. But liquid shadows are so nice to work with because they're very easy if you want to do a one and done eyeshadow look, or you can also layer them on top of powder eyeshadow too. These stay in place really well for me. I don't experience any creasing. I always use an eyeshadow primer before I go in with powder shadow or liquid shadow, but I think that these are just as good as like the $20, $25 options. So don't spend your money on a high-end one when there are some great options from e.l.f. e.l.f. also does eyeshadow sticks really, really well. They have shimmer finishes, they also have matte finishes, and these are nice because you can use them as one-and-done eyeshadows. You can also use them to highlight the inner corner, the brow bone, or you can use them as eyeliner. They just released a bunch of new matte colors, and I've been using those as eyeliner because they're very creamy, but once they dry down, they last all day long. Again, there are a lot of high-end brands that make eyeshadow crayons, but they're so expensive, and I feel like these work just as great. I would say the metallic ones tend to be a little bit more sheer, so when I blend them out on the eyes, you get more of like a sheer wash of color, whereas the matte ones tend to have a lot more pigment. So it might just depend on what you're going for. They work great as eyeshadow bases as well. And again, if I use an eyeshadow primer, they last all day long for me. I have been such a big fan of the e.l.f. bite-sized eyeshadow palettes ever since they launched these a few years ago. I think the formula is really, really easy to work with. And these are some of my staple shadows. If you look at mine up close, you can tell that I've used them quite a bit. I hit pan on one of these. I'm pretty close to hitting pan on the 2 shades in the center. I like that these quads are a little bit more buildable. I definitely like really intense pigmented eyeshadows too, but sometimes you want something a little bit softer and you don't necessarily need something over the top in terms of pigmentation. So today I'm wearing quite a few shades. Well, what am I wearing from this one? This one is the Berry Bad quad. So I'm wearing this one as a transition, this one kind of in the outer corner, and then I did use a little bit of this on the lid, along with those liquid shadows as well. I'll actually list everything that I'm wearing in the description box in case you guys want to know, because I am using a ton of e.l.f. products in today's video, you know what, I want to do a full face of e.l.f. makeup. I'll make sure I put that on my schedule for August because I definitely have more than enough products to do a full face of e.l.f. And then I can show you some of my favorites in action. But the bite-size palettes are great. They're not necessarily the most amazing, mind-blowing eyeshadow formula out there, but for $4, I love them. And I wouldn't even say they're just good for the price. I think they're good in general if you do prefer more of a buildable, super blendable formula. I do have two brow products to talk about in today's video. I love the e.l.f. Wow Brow. I've repurchased this so many times. I honestly can't even give you a number because I've gone through so many of them. I think this is such a good staple brow gel. It locks my brows into place, but it's not over the top. Sometimes I try a brow gel and it feels like I just hairsprayed my brows on and they're uncomfortable, they're crunchy, they almost look shiny. That's not the case with this one. It looks more natural, but you get a good amount of hold. I would say like a medium hold. I also like this because it has fibers in it and it is a tinted brow gel, so it makes your brows look a little bit more defined, again, without being over the top. I think it's such a nice option if I'm doing like quick, easy makeup and I don't want to take the time to like fully fill in my brows. I'll take this because it fills them in lightly, it defines them, and it sets them into place. I also love the e.l.f. Ultra Precise Brow Pencil. They have another brow pencil that's nice too. It's a little bit bigger, but I like the Ultra Precise Brow Pencil because it is a smaller pencil, so you can get more of a defined look and just create more natural hair-like strokes. I think this works just as great as a lot of high-end brow pencils. I've pretty much stopped buying high-end brow pencils, other than the Urban Decay Brow Blade, which is like a dual-ended pencil, but I don't buy just full-on brow pencils anymore from Sephora because there are so many good drugstore options, and e.l.f. definitely makes one of my favorites. I would say the worst eye product from e.l.f. is the Expert Liquid Liner, and it's funny because that actually used to be one of my favorites, but I think as I've tried other options out there and makeup as a whole has just improved quite a bit, that definitely made its way to the bottom of my list. I want to say I tried it again a few years ago and I just felt like the formula smudged on me. It just didn't go on well. The brush is super tiny, so you can get a really precise application, but for me, I had to dip the brush back into the pot over and over again just to line one eye. So I think that they have definitely made better options since creating that product. That is one of like their original products, and I used to love it back in the day, but my preferences have changed, makeup products have improved, so for me, that is definitely one of the worst. Okay, moving on to lip products. e.l.f. has a ton of great options. I love their lip glosses so much. They do have a couple of different formulas, but I like the ones that come in like these skinny tubes. And I don't know if they have an official name for them. I know they have the lip lacquers. I have the clear one, which is really, really nice. But when they do collections, sometimes they release specific lip glosses to that collection. So when they did the Mint Melt collection, they actually did plumping glosses, which were amazing. I thought they were so beautiful, so smooth and glossy on the lips. And then when they did the Cookies and Dreams collection, they also did lip glosses too. So I feel like overall, these lip gloss formulas are all pretty much the same. They might have some minor differences, but their lip glosses as a whole are really, really good. Super affordable. I love lip gloss so much. I have so many formulas in my collection, and this is one of my favorites. I've always been a big fan of e.l.f.'s lip liners, but this year they released the Love Triangle Lip Filler Liners, and these are really, really nice because they have a triangular shape, so they're great at defining the lips, but the formula also locks your lip products into place all day long. I just feel like lip liner, again, is a category where I don't typically love to spend a lot of money because there are so many good, affordable lip liners out there, and this one is so nice. So if you were thinking about trying these, I definitely recommend picking them up. They are retractable lip liners, so they're great. You never have to sharpen them. They hold that triangular shape, which is perfect. So really nice for defining the lips, but also locking lip products into place. I've also really been loving these e.l.f. Glossy Lip Stains. Lip stains are having a big moment right now. I know they've been around forever, but I feel like they're kind of going viral all over TikTok. And if you're looking for an affordable lip stain to try these because they're really beautiful and they give your lips a super glossy finish. And then as that gloss wears off throughout the day, you're left with a really pretty stain. Today I'm wearing the shade Pinkies Up, which is a gorgeous, like soft, everyday pink, but they also have some more dramatic options as well. So these are really nice. Again, super affordable. If you haven't tried a lip stain and you don't want to spend the money on like the Fenty lip stain, or there are a couple of other ones that are really popular right now, try these out because I think they're like $4 or $5. You can get the feel for a lip stain, see if you even like it before you invest in a more expensive option. or maybe this will be good enough for you. I don't have a lot of expensive lip stains in my collection because it's not something I wear a ton. But if I do want to wear it, I think e.l.f. has a really gorgeous shade selection, and I like that they have a really pretty glossy finish because they feel more comfortable on the lips than a lot of other formulas out there. Another one of my favorite formulas is the Sheer Slick lipstick formula. I think these are actually being discontinued. I know they're still available at Target, which is why I wanted to mention them in today's video, and I think they might be at Ulta. I'll link them below if I can find them. On e.l.f.'s website, they still have the black cherry shade, and I think it's because a lot of people say that it's a good alternative to Clinique's lipstick in Black Honey. But they don't have any of the other shades available, which makes me so sad because this formula is beautiful. It's just kind of like the perfect option to give you that popsicle lip look, like a super glossy, juicy lip with like a sheer hint of color. They're so, so pretty. So if you can get your hands on these at Target or Ulta, definitely grab them while you can because they're amazing. They're so comfortable. I don't know why they would discontinue these. Maybe they're not great sellers, but they're definitely one of my favorite products. My favorite lipstick from e.l.f. would be the Srsly Satin Lipstick formula. This is a really gorgeous formula. I love the packaging. I think it's so pretty. I like this formula a lot because it just wears well throughout the day. And I would say for a satin, it leans a little bit matte. You know how with the term satin or like the description satin when it comes to a lip product, it can either be like a really moisturizing satin that's kind of glossy or more of a matte satin that just has like a hint of a sheen. I think this e.l.f. lipstick is kind of in between like a matte and a satin. It's not completely satin or completely matte, which is why I think it's really nice for everyday wear because it does stay in place well. And if you want more of a glossy sheen, you can always top it with a lip gloss. This clear one is only a few dollars, but I do like this formula. I typically mix these two shades together. I have Nectar and then also Cream, and I'll also use Cream if my lipstick is a little bit too dark because this just lightens everything up. So I enjoy this formula a lot too. The worst product I'm going to share with you guys is something that, again, I used to love, and it was probably in a lot of my favorites videos, but you know, as time goes on, I feel like brands release other products, and a lot of the time I find alternatives that I like better, or, you know, your preferences just change. I feel like my makeup preferences have changed so much over the past few years. So the worst product I wanted to share in today's video would be the Ride or Die Lip Balms. And again, I know I used to love those, but I think I've discovered a lot of other lip balms that I prefer. Those are not necessarily the most, the most nourishing formula out there. I think they stay in place well, and they're a little bit thicker. So I did like using the mint one as like an overnight mask, but I think when it comes to lip balm, I definitely prefer something a little more emollient, a little bit just easier to apply, something a little lighter and more comfortable. Those are almost like a lip mask texture, and that's not something I typically wear like day to day. I also felt like they were a little bit difficult to actually get out of the tube once I had them for a few months. And I don't know, I think they looked pretty on the lips, but I just didn't find myself reaching for them as much as other lip balms, which is why I ended up decluttering pretty much all of them. So I would say that's probably the worst lip product. Although, you know, when it comes down to it, I wouldn't say the formula is terrible. I just think there are other lip balms that I prefer to that one. Let's talk about some face products. I think this is my favorite category of makeup that e.l.f. does. I included complexion products like base products and then also cheek products as well. As I was scrolling through their face section on their website, I had such a hard time narrowing it down because I could have included probably like 5 or 6 additional products in this category because I think they do such a good job with their complexion products and their cheek products. So it was hard for me to narrow it down. These are probably some of my top e.l.f. products of all time. Like if I could only choose 10 in this entire video, I'm pretty sure all 5 of these would be in that list. The first one is the Power Grip Primer. I just used this up and I did end up repurchasing it because I love this so much. I think right now it is my favorite primer in my entire collection. It just does everything that I need a primer to do. This hydrates my skin and leaves me with like a really fresh, dewy look, but it also locks my makeup into place so well. But there's something about this texture that is perfect. My makeup stays in place all day when I use this. It doesn't break me out, my skin feels so good, and I just love it. It works well with pretty much every foundation or complexion product I've tried with this, whether it is a liquid foundation or a powder foundation, it really is the best. So this is my #1 primer. Another product that I tried this year for the first time is a newer launch, and that would be the e.l.f. Camo Powder Foundation. This is my favorite powder foundation that I've ever tried. I was on a powder foundation kick for like the past 2 years, just because it does tend to be a little bit faster than liquid foundation. It's quick and easy just to blend it all over the skin, but I really didn't know that I could love a powder foundation as much as this one. This one has the best coverage out of any powder foundation I've tried. It makes my skin look really smooth, incredibly healthy, and it looks great as I wear it throughout the day. Sometimes powder foundations can enhance dryness, sometimes they can completely come off. This just looks like skin as I wear it, but again, the coverage is amazing. I love this so much. It's great on its own. It's great with a big fluffy brush to kind of add just like a diffused look to your finished makeup, and it really is the best. I could go on and on about this. I've used this in a video. Actually, do I have a full face of e.l.f. from this year? I feel like I did a full face of e.l.f. when this originally came out, or like a full drugstore with mostly e.l.f. I'll link it below if I did, but I'll use it in an upcoming video again so you can see how it works because I love it so much. Another powder that e.l.f. does so well is the Halo Glow Setting Powder. This feels like a $40 powder. You can use this to set your entire face, but I like to use it as a finishing powder. I'll use it under my eyes. I'll use it just to blend like my bronzer and blush all together. It is so lightweight. It actually feels like the Hourglass powder, but these have like a hint of color to them. So they have a couple of different options, and you can use it just to brighten up your skin, just to kind of make everything look super airbrushed and finished and smooth. And it's gorgeous. It really is. Don't let the name fool you because they call it the Halo Glow, but it doesn't have any sort of shimmer or glitter in it. It just gives your skin like that beautiful, lightly glowy look that only like a gorgeous luminous powder can do. The only other powder that I've tried that comes close would be the Hourglass Ambient Lighting powders, but I've tried their pressed versions and I like this one because it's loose. So I feel like it just looks a little bit more natural because you can just dip your brush in, tap off most of it, and then lightly dust it over the skin, and it's perfect. It really is amazing. e.l.f. also recently launched this product. This is the Halo Glow Liquid Filter, and I've been enjoying it so much. Now this is a little bit of a newer favorite, but if you watch reviews, the general consensus is that this is a dupe for the Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood Flawless Filter, and this is such a nice product because you can use it in a lot of different ways. You can use it as a base, you can use it in place of foundation, you can mix it with your foundation, you can mix it with skincare, or you can use it as a liquid highlighter, and it really works so well. I love this product, and I like that it does have so many different uses, which is so nice because, you know, obviously with makeup products in general, you can use them in different ways, but this one really does work in a bunch of different ways, and it works so well in each way that you use it. The last product in this category is a cheek product, where the rest were complexion products. e.l.f. has a lot of great cheek products, so I feel like I would have liked to include more, but I was just trying to keep this video from getting too long. My favorite product that they do for the cheeks would be their putty products, like their putty bronzers, putty blushes. So I'm just kind of including those as one big category. These are really, really nice. If you are intimidated by cream products, if they just feel overwhelming to you, or if you've tried them and you feel like they just look heavy and you can't get them to blend, try this formula. This is like the most beginner-friendly cream formula out there because it's very, very buildable. So you can go in with a really light sheer layer, or you can gradually build it up. You can use a brush, you can use your fingers. I do like to use a brush with mine, but if I want more of an intense application, I'll just use my fingers. What's nice about this formula is it is like a cream to powder formula. So once it dries down, it stays in place well. It's not as long wearing as some other cream formulas out there, but it looks so natural on the skin. My fail would be the e.l.f. Daily Dew Stick. So I ordered that a few months ago and it sounded really nice, but it just didn't work for me. The actual product felt identical to this like hydrating stick they used to have that you could use to apply on your face if you were dealing with dryness or just all over for just like a smooth, glowy, dewy look. But this actually had a hint of color. When I used it on my cheeks to highlight, it erased the foundation or whatever I was wearing underneath completely. Because it was more of like a wet feeling product, whenever you drew it on your face, it felt like you were taking like water and just completely removing your makeup. I also tried doing it on the back of my hand and then like tapping it on, but it was so subtle that it really didn't show up well. So that product just did not work for me. There are a lot of stick and cream highlighters out there that I know people love, and I think e.l.f. could do one well, but at this point, you know, they just did the Halo Glow Liquid Filter. This is a gorgeous Luminous liquid highlighter. So I would recommend trying this over the Daily Dew stick. I know the formulas are different, but this one looks amazing on top of foundation. It doesn't erase my foundation at all. So skip the Daily Dew stick, go with something like this. If you're looking for like true hydration, they have really good skincare products that work well for that. The Daily Dew stick in my mind sounds good, but the actual product just didn't work very well. Okay, let me share my top skincare products with you, and then I'll do tools, which is just like brushes and sponges. So my favorite skincare line that e.l.f. does would be the Holy Hydration line. They have a ton of amazing skincare options, and I think they have a line that will work for you no matter what your skin type is or your skincare concerns. In fact, if you go on their website, I'm pretty sure you can narrow it down by skin type and skincare concerns. But the Holy Hydration line is one of the best. I think I like every single product from that line, but I wanted to share my top 3 favorites with you. I love the Holy Hydration Eye Cream. This is the most perfect formula. I'm actually using this right now. I've repurchased this a lot throughout the years because I've tried a lot of formulas out there, but this is such a nice texture. It's very refreshing. It's actually pretty lightweight, but super hydrating. I feel like a lot of lightweight eye creams don't give me the hydration I'm looking for, and if it is an incredibly hydrating eye cream, sometimes it's a little bit too heavy for my under eyes. This one is perfect. I love using this in the morning before I do makeup, but also at night before I go to bed because it just feels really good on the skin, and it does a great job at keeping my skin hydrated, like I said, without being too intense. My favorite cleansing balm of all time is the e.l.f. Holy Hydration Makeup Melting Cleansing Balm. I just purchased a few of these because they were running a sale, so I did stock up because it is something I go through consistently. This melts all of your makeup off. Waterproof eye makeup, full coverage foundation, it doesn't matter. If you use this product and just, gently roll it over your skin, rinse it off with water, all of your makeup comes off. Cleansing balms can be really expensive. I've tried so many high-end options, and this one is so good because it does not irritate my eyes. A lot of cleansing balms burn my eyes, or they almost make my eyes kind of cloudy because if you're using them to remove your eye makeup, they almost leave like a film on your eyes. That doesn't happen with this one because it is so lightweight, but really, really effective. So I definitely recommend trying this if you haven't already. And then I love the Holy Hydration Hydrogel Moisturizer. The Holy Hydration Face Cream is really great too, but that one is pretty intense. So if you have dry skin, I totally recommend that. But if you have normal, oily, or combo skin, you'll probably want to try this one because it is the most beautiful texture. It's like a gel cream formula that sinks into the skin, and your skin is left feeling incredibly smooth, super hydrated, really glowy and fresh, but it's not too heavy. It's perfect for everyday wear. I have a few other skincare products that I love. I don't have this one with me because I used it up completely, and then instead of repurchasing it, I was using something else in my collection that was kind of similar. These are the Super Glow AHA Peel Pads. They actually have really good reviews online too, and I totally understand why because they work so well to keep my skin exfoliated without burning my skin or irritating it. A lot of chemical exfoliators can be too strong for my skin. It is a little bit more sensitive. I even made my husband try these because he has really dry skin, and this was a while ago when he was actually like doing a regular skincare routine, which he's not right now. He'll use like random products of mine like face wash, but that's pretty much it. But I told him to try it because he has really dry skin, and I wanted to know if it worked well to kind of help with like his dry skin, and his skin was it was winter time. So anyway, long story short, he actually liked them too, and I felt like they worked well at exfoliating his skin, but they were so gentle, and a lot of products can actually burn his skin because it's so dry, and those did not. So those are a really good option too. And then the last product that I wanted to share with you guys is the Oil Control Liquid Lotion. I don't know why I don't have this right now because this is definitely one of my summertime staples. I need to repurchase this because I think I used it up completely, and sometimes if I finish something, even though I love it, I don't always run out and repurchase it right away because I have a lot of skincare products I need to get through. But this is the best lotion if you have oily skin and you don't want anything too intense. Even this product, the Hydrogel Moisturizer, might be a little bit much if you have extremely oily skin and you prefer more of a matte finish. The Oil Control Liquid Lotion keeps your skin matte throughout the day, and it just provides the lightest amount of moisture without being too much. So it's really so nice for everyday wear. So the worst makeup or the worst skincare products I've tried from e.l.f. would just be their CBD collection as a whole. And to be fair, a lot of CBD infused skincare just doesn't work for me. Usually I don't love the scent of it, and I also feel like it tends to make my skin break out. And I tried pretty much their entire CBD collection. I think they sent it to me in the mail as PR, and I just didn't like them. I felt like they were really underwhelming, they didn't do anything for me, and a few of them broke my skin out. I'm looking at the line on their website, and it looks like a lot of the products are out of stock, so I don't know if it is being discontinued, but I just wasn't a fan of it. It has pretty good reviews, so obviously, as with anything, there is a chance that it could work well for you, but I just feel like they have so many good skincare products that I absolutely loved that line as a whole felt kind of underwhelming, and I do think it was a little bit more expensive compared to some of their other products. Yeah, like the CBD eye cream is $15, which is a lot more than the Holy Hydration one. The body cream is $18. The body oil is $28. It just feels overpriced and underwhelming to me. Okay, let me finish up with some of my favorite tools. I have always loved e.l.f. makeup brushes. I think they are so good, and they are still some of my most used makeup brushes at this point, even after trying so many other brands out there. You can purchase an entire line, you can purchase single brushes. They are definitely worth checking out, so I wanted to share my top 5 with you. So one of my go-to brushes is the Putty Primer Applicator. Now you can use this for the Putty Primer, which is why they designed it. It's kind of how they market it. It does have a little scoop on one side, which is nice, but the size of this brush is perfect for cream cheek products. I love to use this for the Putty Bronzers and the Putty Blushes. I mainly use it with the Putty Bronzer because it's not too big, and I feel like sometimes when it comes to bronzer brushes, if I'm using a brush with a cream bronzer, I end up applying it all over my face, but with this one you can get a really precise application, and I think because they designed it to be used with the Putty Primer, the actual density of the brush is just perfect for applying that cream to matte formula, or cream to powder formula. So this is definitely worth trying out. You can use it with the primers, but you can also use it with the bronzer and the blush, and sometimes I'll use it for concealer and foundation. So it's just a good all-around brush. Another brush that I love to use with the Putty products, or just creams in general, is the Complexion Duo brush. This one is going to give you a little bit more of a diffused, natural look. The bristles aren't quite as dense, so I'll usually use this one with the Putty blushes because it just diffuses the product perfectly. It gives me a light wash of color, and then you can also build it up as well. This is also nice with foundation on days where I don't want like a super intense full coverage look, because it just applies it very lightly and it blends out so nicely, or you can stipple it on with this product too. And then when you flip it over, there's a smaller brush, which I'll usually use for concealer. But I love this one, especially for days when I want more of a light wash of color. So they're both great to use with the Putty cheek products. It just depends on what type of look you're going for. The Ultimate Blending Brush has been one of my go-to foundation brushes for years. I actually have a bunch of these. I love the shape of this brush because it is domed, and I don't typically love like super flat foundation brushes. I usually prefer for them to be a little bit more rounded. So this is great to either buff foundation into your skin or powder foundation. It works so well with the Camo powder foundation, or you can stipple foundation on for more of like a true full coverage look. But it just gives you a very diffused look. It applies foundation flawlessly. It looks super blended, not streaky at all. This one is the Flawless Face Brush. I've been using this one lately with my bronzer. It's perfect to apply bronzer to the cheeks. It's also really nice for blush. I love using it for powder. I actually have a couple of these because I will use them in so many different ways. I also recommend the Total Face Sponge. This is my favorite beauty sponge. Other than the Real Technique sponge, I kind of use them interchangeably. This one is perfect, and I think it's $6. I love that it comes with this side, so you can use it for foundation, concealer, cream products, but it also has a flat side, and I love to use this with powder and also their powder foundation. I honestly can't really imagine spending the money on a beauty blender ever again after discovering this, because it is the perfect shape, the perfect density, the perfect material. I love it so much, and it's really affordable. What did I write down for the worst product in this category? Okay, I wrote down these brushes. These are the white brushes, or like they have the white handles with kind of like the lighter brown bristles. So I know that there are people who still really enjoy this set, and back in the day before e.l.f. released a ton of other options, I felt like it was good enough, but I don't really recommend picking it up in 2022. I think I still have a few of these in my collection. I think the eye brushes brushes are good, but the face brushes were just a little bit flimsy. They felt a little bit cheap. I would recommend spending just a few dollars extra to get some of the brushes with the black handles because I think they are significantly better, and these have lasted me years. And as they continue to make them, I feel like they only improve them more and more, whereas the brushes with the white handles just feel they're fine. Honestly, they're not the worst thing out there, but I just feel like out of all of e.l.f.'s brushes, they are the worst option that you can get, especially now that they have so many amazing options. So that's what I included as the worst product for today's video in the brush category. Okay, guys, that's everything I wanted to share with you in today's video. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know in the comments below which e.l.f. products are your favorites, which ones are your go-tos. I'll do a full face of e.l.f. makeup soon within the next few weeks. So you can see a lot of these products in action, see how they work for me, and how I like to apply them. And then I'll include other products I didn't mention in today's video as well, just so you can see more of my favorites. But let me know which products you guys love from the brand. I would honestly love to know. Actually, let me know if you have any underrated favorites from e.l.f. because I feel like I see them all over the place these days, but a lot of the same products over and over. So if there is a product that's not as popular and you love it, let us know in the comments below. But I will see you guys very soon with a new video. Bye.